He's Robin Hood to these folks. In fact, he's worshipped in the poverty anarchist world. And why wouldn't he be? Dr. Roland Wong has been getting them access to cash for years.
He saved my life. He's a hero. He's not a criminal. He should be lauded as a hero across Canada. Every doctor should be able to sign a special diet form for everybody.
His story's not new. In fact, what he's accused of doing has been in the headlines for a while. Wong hasn't been charged, and he's no longer being investigated for fraud by police, but he has done something wrong. And you're on the hook to cover it to the tune of about $2 million. And as far as these folks are concerned, that's perfectly fine.
That actually looked out for the health and well-being of his patients. So we think that that's something that should be rewarded, something that should be regarded as admirable. But you have a college of doctors persecuting him.
That's John Clark, professional protester and founding member of the anarchist group OCAP. He was talking to us at a solidarity rally for Dr. Wong on the day his 6-month suspension starts. He also has to pay a $35,000 fine, but he should be able to pay for it. After all, he had a very, very healthy billing practice, the highest of any Ontario doctor. According to evidence at his disciplinary hearing, he filled out over 35,000 special diet forms over 4 years, giving his patients access to a special diet allowance of $250 a month. As one lawyer put it, he was gaming the system, making a ton of money under the guise of helping the poor. Wong doesn't see it that way.
Well, there's been a misconception that this whole program has been to fund from a taxpayer to the poor people. It's not. You know that with this money that they have, there is a change in their health. And with better health and better education among these people, they are going to be taxpayers in the future. So think of it different ways, not the same old, robbing from the rich and giving it to the poor. No, it's not like that. Try and think of it a different way. Think of it that the taxpayers are now helping the poor to have better education, better health, and from that they're going to be taxpayers in the future. So go for it.
OCAP, we'll call them Little John, admits to playing an active part in helping Robin Hood. They set up visitation days at special clinics so hundreds could get in to see Robin Hood. And they boast there are others in the medical system ready to do the same.
There's doctors in the downtown core, primarily of Toronto, who fill out all sorts of forms for their patients on welfare so they can secure higher funds to live on.
Why not give it out of his own pocket or yourself? I mean, you make good money.
Why should I give money? Why don't you give money out of your own pocket? Money to support people on welfare comes from tax system that taxes the wealthiest people, and I love paying taxes. I think I should pay higher taxes. That's how I want to do it, not through charity.
But a lot of people might look
shouldn't depend on charity to live. They should depend on support from the state to live if they're unable to live independently on their own.
You're a very liberal doctor then.
No, I'm not. I'm an ordinary citizen.
Well, you're a doctor who makes a lot of money. A lot of people would look at Dr. Wong and say, if he's so wealthy, why doesn't he just take it out of his own pocket?
It's not his responsibility. It's the government's responsibility. His responsibility is to provide medical services and complete the forms required to give the poorest people in the province enough money to live minimally. That's his job, not to be a charitable agency.
Huh? OPSEU and other labor unions are also in solidarity with Wong. How much support? Well, that's one of those little unknowns. No transparency here, nope. Certainly their members are in the dark, and what the Brotherhood doesn't know about how their dues are spent is probably best. And I'm quite sure they'd be happy knowing their dues are propping up a cause like Robin Hood. But this union of unions does make perfect sense, given OCAP is working with the public sector unions on a much bigger campaign than just special diet billing. The larger campaign underway is all about that little phrase being programmed into our heads: income inequality, the 99% versus the 1%, the galvanizing of the classes. These groups are demanding that social assistance be boosted to 40% while pushing the Wynne government to raise minimum wage to $14. Thankfully, she hasn't buckled yet. Do they care how it affects the private sector, especially small business, or that raising minimum wage doesn't solve poverty, that it actually kills jobs? And it also hurts the very people they claim to care about. The only ones who really benefit are those in the public sector, the Brotherhood. When I left the Solidarity rally, the only thing I really learned is that there are many Robin Hoods taking from the taxpayer They have no shame. They have no clue, but they are getting away with it. Hey, when a guy who made millions is a hero to the poor, you know, we're living in some very strange times.